Amid this uncertainty, she transcended into a surreal realm, encountering Jesus and forming a connection that surpassed earthly communication. Their bond evolved into an inexplicable understanding, where thoughts and emotions flowed without words, evoking both bewilderment and deep intimacy. Entering the celestial realm, she was immediately struck by an ethereal weightlessness, a stark contrast to the incessant agony of arthritis that plagued her earthly existence. Here, in this otherworldly domain, her mind persisted, yet the relentless physical torment dissolved into oblivion. As she ventured further into this celestial expanse, her communion with Jesus intensified. Their connection felt entwined at the core, emitting an effusion of his boundless joy and euphoria upon her presence. The embrace of love and acceptance she encountered defied expression, reminiscent of the parable of the prodigal son, where a returning child is welcomed with immeasurable delight by a father. The ethereal love and embrace she encountered here proved challenging to encapsulate within mortal language. Within this divine dominion, time adopted an entirely distinct essence for its earthly counterpart. The limitations of terrestrial time ceased to apply, devoid of any wistfulness or sorrow concerning her departure from the mortal realm. Instead, she was enveloped in an overwhelming sense of jubilation within this realm of boundless love and acceptance. Her communion with Jesus transpired as a marvel, an overflow of love and exhilaration. His presence manifested as an incandescent and unmistakable luminescence. The ambience resonated with an encompassing peace, accompanied by an indescribable, harmonious resonance that transcended earthly articulation. From her heart to the celestial beings adoring the background, all resounded in unison, glorifying his name in a melodious symphony. The hues defied mortal comparison, their brilliance intensified manifold, emanating an unimaginable splendor. As she immersed herself in this celestial tapestry, she encountered landscapes adorned with lush foliage, meandering rivers, and verdant expanses. The river's melodious flow seemed to converse with her, while the fauna, domestic animals, and equines engaged in a celestial dialogue. The sheer marvel of this realm left her in a constant state of awe, yearning for it daily within her earthly abode. Within this celestial haven, love pervaded the very essence of the atmosphere, and her bond with Jesus reached depths profound. What truly set this realm apart was the absence of any disagreeable odors, replaced by a delicate floral fragrance devoid of irritants, even for those susceptible to allergies. Positivity reigned supreme, banishing any trace of negativity. Continuing her celestial odyssey, she engaged in dialogue with Jesus, spurred solely by an ardent desire to convey her love. In his presence, she felt an overpowering sense of belonging. While conversing, he directed her attention to the right, where a cluster of radiant orbs glistened, resembling golden spheres rather than mere stars. These orbs varied in hues of gold, emanating a breathtaking beauty. Among them, one orb, bereft of any visual form, conveyed the unmistakable presence of her departed mother, rekindling memories of her biological mother, who tragically succumbed to severe sepsis when she was a mere 10 years old, a parallel to the dire situation she faced in the hospital. Exploring the intricacies of perception and spiritual encounters, the tale unfolds with an innate comprehension guiding her, infusing her with an overwhelming sense of anticipation, recognizing her mother's ethereal essence before any visual confirmation. Initially manifesting as a luminous sphere, their spirits entwined, triggering a swift, graceful movement from her mother. Gradually emerging in a rejuvenated form reminiscent of her 20s, a striking departure from her earthly passing at merely 30, this transformed apparition radiated a divine luminescence akin to the very glory of God, the radiant Shekinah, as if inhabiting a newly adorned vessel. She attributed this profound metamorphosis to the benevolent guidance of Jesus, ensuring instantaneous recognition the moment her mother's visage materialized. Their exchange unfolded in an indescribable manner, transcending linguistic boundaries, a unique cognitive realm where emotions and thoughts intermingled seamlessly without verbal articulation. A profound connection transpired with Jesus, the loving and attentive patriarch, overseeing the magnificent reunion. Her mother exuded tranquility and elation, flooding her heart with an overwhelming surge of love, gratitude, and an intensity of emotion that defied any attempt at verbal explication. It was then that Jesus conveyed, audibly, her mother's eager anticipation of her eventual arrival, despite the appointed time not yet manifesting. A sense of reluctance surged within her at the mere contemplation of departing from this ethereal realm. However, Jesus had more revelations, emphasizing the importance of a genuine, unguarded relationship. With omniscient awareness, he accepted her innermost thoughts without shame or judgment. A full life review, detailing past actions, was absent. Instead, she was enveloped in love tranquilly, and an unwavering sense of acceptance, because she believed accepting Jesus as her Saviour granted absolution. Jesus' teachings of love, peace, and acceptance were reinforced by her encounter. He reiterated his deep desire for a personal relationship, emphasizing his love's universality and the spiritual tapestry that binds all souls. Sound, which connected everything to him, symbolized his unwavering pursuit of a relationship with every soul, regardless of earthly identity. As the story progressed, the Antichrist emerged as a wicked spiritual force. This evil presence radiated malice. It parted its lips, emitting what appeared to be eerie musical notes, or a smoky substance cascading downward to earth, like a foreboding shadowed path, revealing the influence of malevolent spirits on earth. She travelled across continents and encountered Protestant, Catholic, Jehovah's Witness, and Mormon churches. These sanctuaries, which promoted virtuous deeds to earn salvation, hurt Jesus, who expressed his anguish at the contradiction. He believed salvation was an unmerited gift of his boundless love. Jesus wanted people to understand salvation as an unearned grace and acknowledge his universal love, emphasizing intimate, soulful communion in his teachings. She felt this essence throughout her spiritual journey. Jesus revealed this to her in a dream near her return, allowing her to relive her adventure. She saw diligent doctors treating her, followed by a final waltz with Jesus that was distinguished. Jesus' radiant form became more human-like, resembling the chosen. They were in a vast, gold-gilded metropolis that resembled a fortress. Jesus communicated with her through dance, embracing her. He told her it was time to leave, but she wanted to stay. However, Jesus assured her that her departure was premature and that they would meet again. As she descended, he whispered "Aata Ekpat," which she deciphered as "amazing beginnings." Upon awakening in the hospital, she found comfort in her adoptive mother, who had raised her after her biological mother died. Her adoptive mother confirmed her afterlife journey, and she and her spouse investigated her mortality. Despite weeks on life support and in intensive care, she described her journey as breathtaking. Jesus etched his unwavering pursuit of a personal relationship with every person into her impassioned testimony. His ardor and longing for a deep relationship with humanity shaped his teachings, encouraging a lasting return to him. Gazing at the heavens was their destiny, a descent beyond earth. An inner luminescence guided humanity down. If this story intrigues you, subscribe, activate notifications, and join our community. We appreciate your support and welcome you. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Prepare for a wealth of captivating content. Hey there, everyone. Gather round because I've got a tale to share about Don Piper and his extraordinary journey to the pearly gates. Today, we're delving into the second chapter of his fascinating book, 90 Minutes in Heaven. Now, if you've already dived into this book, kudos to you. If not, consider popping by your local bookstore and snagging a copy. When Don kicked the bucket, it wasn't your run-of-the-mill scenario with dark tunnels and dramatic light shows. Nope, no fading away or returning vibes for him. As he passed away, there was this mind-blowing light, something beyond any imagination. Suddenly, boom. Next thing he knows, he's standing right there in heaven. Imagine this. Pure elation flooding through Don as he absorbs the breathtaking heavenly sights. And guess what? There's a bustling crowd, akin to a heavenly Coachella. They're gathered by this dazzling gate, and distance seems irrelevant, kind of like celestial logistics at play. As this celestial gathering rushes toward him, Jesus isn't in sight, but lo and behold, there's a group of familiar faces. Turns out, they're the welcoming party, or as Don fondly refers to them, is Celestial Welcoming Committee. Entering the celestial realm was akin to stepping into a vibrant college of familiar faces and cherished memories for Don. As he embarked on this ethereal journey, the initial encounter with his grandfather, Joe Culbeth, stood out. The scene unfolded with the striking contrast of Joe's shock of white hair and what Don affectionately referred to as a big banana nose. Their embrace transcended mere reunion. It embodied an overwhelming joy that eclipsed the means of arrival. Curiously, the sequence of encounters lacked a discernible order or rationale, leading to a sequence where Grandpa Joe preceded others. Don found himself contemplating this peculiarity, perhaps spurred by the memory of Joe's departure. The ongoing influx of the heavenly gathering became palpable, marked by a flurry of embraces, kisses, and handshakes. Each gesture resonated with an unparalleled warmth, infusing Don with an overwhelming sense of love. In this celestial tapestry, a significant figure materialized. Mike Wood, Don's childhood confidant, and the catalyst behind his introduction to Sunday school and Christianity. Memories of Mike, the virtuoso athlete whose life was tragically curtailed in a car accident at a tender age, flooded Don's consciousness. The profound grief that once consumed him on earth now gave way to an aura of love and reunion, reflecting the unparalleled camaraderie of this heavenly abode. Don's narrative of traversing to the other side exuded a tumultuous yet jubilant essence, a roller coaster of emotions accentuated by affectionate embraces, resounding joy, and an exuberant welcome that rivaled any earthly celebration. The revelation of heaven's profound love and the presence of familiar countenances rendered the experience both captivating and inexplicable. A poignant chapter of Don's earthly journey revolved around Mike's funeral, marked by inconsolable tears and poignant reflections on life's uncertainties. The enduring sorrow and intermittent pangs of grief persisted as Don grappled with the absence of his cherished friend. However, the celestial rendezvous with Mike in heaven redefined the narrative, casting aside the shroud of grief to embrace boundless joy and happiness. The celestial panorama unfolded further, revealing a multitude of luminous beings extending warm greetings to Don, each acknowledging him by name. The sheer abundance of joyous faces imparted an otherworldly serenity that transcended the human realm. In this celestial congregation, time lost its traditional significance, yet Don endeavoured to articulate the experience within the confines of Earth's temporal constraints. Among the celestial cohort were familiar souls like Don's great-grandfather and Barry Wilson, the high school companion tragically lost to drowning. Their embraces and radiant countenances encapsulated an ineffable happiness. The gathering echoed with reverent praise and exuberant excitement, welcoming Don to this celestial brotherhood. Notably, two mentors who had imparted lessons about Jesus during Don's earthly sojourn found their place among the celestial throng. As Don traversed this ethereal expanse, he discerned a diverse amalgamation of ages, fostering an inexplicable familiarity among individuals who may not have crossed paths during their earthly existence. Entering into the realm beyond human comprehension, Don embarked on a journey that defied earthly description. Attempting to articulate the depth of this transcendent encounter proved an arduous task, as the limitations of mortal language failed to encapsulate the sheer magnitude of emotions, joy, excitement, warmth, and utter happiness that engulfed him within this heavenly sphere. The celestial embrace, the tender touch, laughter echoing through ethereal corridors, and expressions of gratitude stretched across what seemed like an eternal continuum. Time, a mere earthly construct, held no sway as Don found himself immersed in an experience devoid of weariness or fatigue. Comparing earthly kinship rituals to this celestial gathering felt futile. Don's extensive earthly family, renowned for their affectionate reunions in Monticello, Arkansas, paled in comparison to the divine congregation awaiting him beyond the gates of heaven. It was an assembly transcending any earthly analogue, a gathering that epitomized the grandest of family reunions. Sensory overload characterized Don's celestial odyssey, akin to indulging in a lavish feast for the senses. The power of heartfelt embraces, the unrivaled beauty, and a light so vibrant and texture so ineffable that earthly comparisons failed. Vivid hues danced in ways unseen, surpassing the palette of earthly existence. Taste, although bold, hinted at an experience far surpassing any mundane earthly indulgence. Transcending dimensions, Don found himself catapulted into a reality that dwarfed his happiest moments on earth. Speechless amid the throng of loved ones, their expressions of joy and excitement seemingly beyond mere articulation. In this timeless expanse of heaven, moments weren't measured, but rather felt as a perpetual state. Surveying the familiar faces encircling him, Don discerned each person's pivotal role in his spiritual journey. Without delving into specifics, their shared conversations emanated a pure joy of reunion, transcending the confines of mortal words. Overwhelmed, Don could only respond with a simple, "I'm glad to be here," words that fell short in conveying the profound bliss of being enfolded by cherished souls. Here, in this celestial realm, regrets held no place, as if his consciousness had been cleansed of earthly worries and negativities by divine hand. The visages of familiar souls retained their earthly semblance, yet radiated an elevated joy. His great-grandmother, Hattie, once bowed by age, now stood tall, wrinkles effaced, and a smile more resplendent than ever. Time, an irrelevant notion, had ceased its march in this dimension, where imperfections of the earthly form gave way to a perfect and exquisite countenance in every being. Reflecting back across the passage of years, Don couldn't shake loose the vivid recollection of those flawless countenances and the comforting warmth encapsulated within their smiles. It was as though time itself had etched these cherished faces into the fabric of his consciousness, imprinting them in a way that defied mere fading. Envisioning those beloved souls, their embrace extended in a greeting that transcended the earthly, welcoming him to a realm of unmatched serenity and camaraderie. The sacred moments spent amidst these celestial beings stood as treasured emblems within his mind's archive, an unspoken promise of a profound hope that transcended the ordinary. Each soul that converged upon him did so in a flurry of affection, enveloping him in an embrace that seemed to emanate from every conceivable angle. And as his gaze meandered across the assembly, the radiance of love was reflected in every visage, a love more potent and enduring than any he had encountered in the realm he once inhabited. The language of love here was not verbal, yet its resonance enveloped Don in a cocoon of divine affection, a language only understood by the soul. Attempting to articulate the overwhelming sense of awe and wonder he experienced in their presence would be akin to trying to confine the boundless ocean within the confines of a teacup. The brilliance that enveloped his surroundings defied human lexicon, painting an ethereal portrait that transcended the finite capabilities of linguistic expression. Progressing towards a gate that pulsated with an even more resplendent luminosity, the terrain underwent a metamorphosis of its own. What appeared initially as a gentle slope perpetually ascended, defying all preconceived notions of the celestial topography. There was no darkness lurking beyond the gate, but rather an expanse of luminosity so intense it defied earthly comprehension. Each step into this radiant abyss seemed to amplify the brilliance, an ascent into a realm of celestial radiance. Analogizing the transition akin to stepping from a dimly lit room into the blazing noonday sun captured merely a fraction of the experience. Despite the luminance that enveloped him, each stride forward only served to heighten the splendor, as if unveiling layer upon layer of divine grandeur. Don found himself cocooned within this radiance, sensing an ethereal ushering into the very presence of the divine. Unlike the gradual adjustment of earthly eyes to light, his celestial vision adapted effortlessly, seamlessly absorbing the unfiltered brilliance that surrounded him. In this celestial abode, the senses undergo a profound augmentation, expanding to assimilate the entirety of their surroundings. A symphony of heightened sensory perceptions unravels, enfolding me in a sanctified reverence as I journey forward. The path that stretches before me remains veiled in an enigmatic shroud, yet with every stride, a burgeoning sense of marvel inundates the very fabric of my being. The celestial strains of music waft gently, an additional layer woven into the tapestry of this unfolding experience. Alas, legal constraints prevent me from delving deeper into this narrative, thereby necessitating the conclusion of today's discourse. Amidst the plethora of literary treasures I've traversed, I offer a resounding recommendation to explore this particular tome, should it not have already graced your contemplation. I invite you, dear interlocutor, to share your musings in the comments if indeed you have ventured into the realms encapsulated within its pages. Until our paths serendipitously converge once more, I bid you a safe journey, and may the ceaseless showers of blessing